Chatter took Molly. She fucks with plenty, her and all the guineas. Yeah, we got the top floor right there off the Henny. Yeah, oh no, I can't fuck with y'all. Yeah, when I'm with my squad, I cannot do no wrong. Yeah, saucing in the city, don't get misinformed. Yeah, they gon' pull up on you. Yeah, we gon' do some things you can't relate. Yeah, 'cause we from a place you cannot stay. Oh, you can't go. Oh, I don't know. Oh, back the fuck up. I get those goosebumps every time you come around. Yeah, you ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments. I'm way too numb. Yeah, this way too dumb. Yeah, I get those goosebumps every time.
Good evening and welcome back to Division A's race for this evening. Alongside me in the commentating booth, we have Craig, who was just racing in Division B. Good evening, Craig.
Hello, Tommy. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thanks, and you?
Fantastic. Could have been
How's-
better. I had a couple of bumper bashes in the last race, but you know what they say, rubbing is racing, and you just got to get on with it, eh?
Yeah, no, it is. But overall, was it fun out there for you?
Absolutely. I mean, it was my first race with the new steering wheel. I was lying third at the beginning, and then had a bit of an incident and dropped back quite a bit, but I finished in fifth, so I was okay.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you actually finally got that new steering wheel that you were waiting on so anxiously. And I can see you on a new wheel. It's making a big difference out there on the track. You were super fast tonight, and I have to say, very congratulations to that. Very good driving, excellent out there.
Thanks, Tommy. It's a world of difference going from a little 300 rand steering wheel to something with a clutch and things that actually work.
Yeah, no,
That was
definitely.
phenomenal.
Well, for the the viewers that wasn't with us in the first race of Group B, we are having our race tonight on Mugello. As you can see on our track layout, there is quite a few straights with some very tricky sharp turns in there as well. there's quite a few of the passing opportunities, but also a lot of places where you can make some mistakes, especially when you have a look through the S-bends that you got just after the start-finish straight that you have. The drivers tend to overshoot their bit, running wide and then ending up going onto the sandbank. And once you're in there, it is very difficult to get back onto the track. You lose a lot of time and quite a few positions as well. So again, it makes for some excellent racing and excellent passing opportunities. And if you make a mistake, you're going to lose out quite badly. I'm still waiting for the server. There we go. This is now up and going. As we can see now live, we've got Peter Grobler that is at the moment in the first position in that very nice looking Jack Tool Racing Mini. In second position, we have Stefan in that very bright yellow and pink crew mini of his. Very nice looking livery as well. In third, we've got Dennis out there in the Sim Experience Mini. Also very nice looking Mini of his. Then we've got Peter that's also in the Crew Mini. Now this is actually Sim Crew. They are racing as a team out there. And it's going to be very interesting to keep an eye on them throughout the race. Then in fifth, we've got James Leach. They in the, let's just make sure, the OC Brewery Mini, the number 33 of James Leach. He's also got his teammate out there tonight. And we've got Sean there as well in that very nice looking red and blue Mini. I'll just wait for the camera to catch up to them so they can see who their sponsor is. However, they are racing under SRA. That is MC Fishing. So we've got Sean representing the MC Fishing Group. We've got Jason there in the nice red and green Mini as well. I'm not too sure who his sponsor is. I don't think he's racing with a sponsor, so feel free to contact him if you are looking to get your business name out there and onto our streams. Then we've got Melvin Gous also out there. Now, his son was racing in the previous Group B race, the father and son combination, one in the A class and one in the B class. Very nice white and red Mini out there. Then we've got Gijsberg that's joining us tonight in that blue and red that speed shop Mini LVs. Very nice looking Mini LVs as well. And then we've got our second OC Brewery Mini out there, who is James Leach. So that is the that is Renier Leach. I'm not too sure why his name says here it's James Leach. No, okay, I'm wrong. This is the maximum effort of James Crook that's out there. That green Mini. I'm sorry there, James. You may give me a slap later on. I do apologize for that. So at the moment, the guys are doing extremely fast times. You've got Peter in the first position there with 1 minute 59.8. Now, if you were watching the previous one of the Group B, the fastest time there was a 2 minute flat point. 3, I think, and not faster than that. So these guys are about 0.2 to 0.3 of a second faster than the Group B guys. Now, as we said previously, you know, this is not just about being faster or anything like that. This is more about your experience. So you get placed in your division or according to your experience in sim racing as well as your times, just to make it a bit fair for everyone that's out there on the track. You know, it doesn't help you just going and running away with the pack. You at least want to be able to have a nice battle with someone for a position. So that's why we do have qualifying sessions up or before the racing or before the league starts, and then you get divided into your league after that. So we have tonight, we are racing on Mugello. Next week we'll be racing on Spa. So we'll most probably be having Group A racing on their own next week, and then we will be having our Group B and C class racing together. However, they will be starting with a slight time delay in between. So we'll most probably have Group B starting, and then about 10 seconds later we'll have Group A starting their race. It's just to get the Group C class as well on the stream and give them a little bit of airtime, because streaming 2 classes at the same time is a bit difficult. So tonight we will be having a lot of fun in this one. If it's anything like the previous race we had in Group A, where there was almost no time to breathe or say anything about anything else except for what's going on the track. We have Donnie now in 4th position in the blue maximum effort mini of his. So he's also busy working his way up the ranks, trying to put in a little bit of a better time. Alvin Goos now in on the track there in 10th with a 2-minute 1.4. He's going to have to step on it a bit. I mean, his little boy was doing a 2-minute flat there. So he's got about a second that he needs to get down on the track though. However, we have noticed that the youngsters is a little bit faster than us older guys. So it's going to be interesting to watch him and see what happens. But the time is very close at the moment. There is between the 1st position and 12th position, there is about a 2-second gap. And I mean, that's not a lot, and especially not once it comes to racing. Race pace, qualifying pace, and practice pace is 3 completely different things. You tend to be a little bit faster in the practice and qualifying than in the race, because once you get into the race, you end up having to fight with another driver, which can either increase your time or slow you down a bit. But generally, race pace is a little bit slower. Anyway, Craig, I'm talking a lot here. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just having a look at Donny van Rooyen. He seems to be. Oh, he's just spun off there. That was a terrible. You'll see his back wheel hit the grass there, and that is the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah, no, I think. Isn't that Rob's corner?
No, Rob's corner is 2 corners back.
Is that 2 corners back?
Yeah, that was a hectic. I think Rob van Heerfer, I mean, as good as he is, every single time. I think I've seen him go off there about 20 times.
Yeah, so we've got a little bit of a inside joke between the few of us, where because Rob always goes off in that corner, and there's actually a marshal standing on the side. We dubbed that corner Rob's corner, because every time you spin out, you end up looking at this marshal standing in front of you. So we just named him Rob and named the corner Rob's corner. I must say he did very well out there tonight as well in Group B. For all the guys that was racing in Group B, very, very well done out there. Very good, clean racing. There was a few incidents and a little bit of bumping and rubbing and racing, but it is part of it. But overall, it was a very good race, I'm sure of it. Just to have
it was fantastic. I mean, a lot of the guys there, I mean, the nice thing is we all speak to each other, and everybody's very friendly and everybody gets along, and the odd bumper bashing happens. I mean, it's just a part of racing. So I take my hats off to the guys that don't crash, because they're obviously doing something right.
Yeah, no, definitely. But once you get into a dice of someone, you generally end up having a little bit of contact here and there. It's part of it, as you said. But having a little bit of a look on the YouTube channel, please do say hello with your name next, or with your name, so that we do know who we're speaking to. I see Dangerous Banana is back. He joined us in for the first race. I'm not too sure who Dev786 is, but welcome. Tyron Weasley, who's also saying hi there again, joining us for the second group that's out there as well. Jason Nell, who joined us late in the Group B division race due to load shedding. It's very nice to have you in here as well. Then we've got, not too sure how to pronounce that. I think it's Dacha2505. Welcome to the live chat. Please, guys, feel free to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share this link and get it out there. Get more viewers onto the sim racing. You can follow us on Facebook on the Sim Race Africa. We do have a Discord channel where you can join us to chat to the guys, as well as a WhatsApp group. Feel free to join us there as well. Stay in tune with what is coming up and what's happening when. We do have 2 major leagues that's coming up that was revealed now by Melvin in the previous stream. So upcoming, we have our Polo Cup for 2021, and Peter Grobler, who is out on the track racing tonight, who is one of our founding members, is busy building the car. And yes, you heard me right. He is physically designing and building the car for the track, as well as he's got some of the top Polo Cup drivers that's racing in the real life, testing the cars for him as he builds it to get it as realistic as possible to the real car that you get on the track today. So that's going to be an interesting one to watch. I know last year we had a major success with that, running 3 different classes as well, straight through about 3 months period of racing. So stay tuned with us. If you want to join in, feel free to join our Facebook, join our Discord, sign up for the league, join us in the racing, join us for our beer lobbies as well that we have on weekends. It's always fun to race with the guys just for fun. You learn a lot from there. People teach you how to, handle the cars better, set up the cars, those type of things. And then also after that, we'll be having our V8 masterclass. Now, Peter again is building these cars. And for the guys from Cape Town, they will know these cars because they are very well known here on Kyalami. So the V8 Masters is a fiberglass body Mustang that they do racing with. Now the cars is completely locked setup. Everything on the cars you cannot change. It all comes down to your driving ability. So again, that's going to be a very interesting one to watch, and will be nice to be out there on the track with the guys. And again, we'll be bringing the live racing for you here on the YouTube channel for Sim Race Africa. So again, like I said, subscribe, follow us, go to Facebook, follow us, stay tuned with what's coming up and what's happening when. And I can still assure you that 2021 is going to bring a lot of entertainment into the sim racing. Well, Craig, I think you might want to say hello to your daughter there.
Hello.
I see your daughter has joined us on the YouTube channel. It's always good to have more women on here as well. She says very well done there to Joni, who is our lady racer that is out on the track. So she's got some supporters out there. It's very good. Craig, you must maybe one night let your daughter get into the rig and just have a little bit of a drive here with Joni as well.
Absolutely, it's not for the lack of trying. Eh? I'm just sitting here watching. I'm not going to say the leeches, but it is the leeches. James and Renier. I think, if I'm not mistaken, James is the dad.
No, actually, the dad was not out on the track tonight. So number 33 is James Leach Jr., actually. He is the son of James Leach Sr., and his brother is Renier Leach out there.
Okay, sorry.
So James, they're brothers. Now, James is in the number 33, and Renier, just waiting for the camera to update, and I can give his number through. I'm not too sure what his number is. He is racing in the... Whoa, what's going on here? There we go. He is in the number 818 Mini. And then I know when their dad races, I think he races in the number 33 Mini. So they are three... They're also the owners of OC Brewery. And yeah, guys, go and support the sponsors. They really do help us in sim racing a lot. They do support the drivers. And again, if you have a look at the cars, the sponsors that's on the cars is actual businesses that's out there that supports the drivers and that advertises and tries and gets their company name out there. Now, I know Sim Crew is just... It's a crew that just races. Now, the main guy from there is Peter Geldenhuys. So he's one of our very experienced and very well-known racers, not just with us under SRA, but also under the other racing group that's out there, like Sim Race South Africa. And they generally do try and support everyone everywhere. Now, Donnie van Rooyen again in the Maximum Effort Mini. Maximum Effort is his own company out there that he's promoting. They are up in Pretoria. They do custom fitted bumpers and 4x4 equipment for you. So feel free to contact them. Also, again, go to the Facebook page of theirs, have a look and see if they can assist you with something, as well as P-Tech Racing that's also on his car. Then we've got Sim Experience that's out there as well. Now Dennis is driving for them. I think they do sim racing equipment like rigs and things like that. So again, go and have a look and see what they've got to offer for you. Got Jason Null also there out in the number 15th car. In Renier Leeds, Melvin Goos, who's one of our founding members that's out there. James Crook, who's also racing under maximum effort in the green mini. And then we've got Gijsberg there in the Speed Shop mini. So guys, like I said, this is real businesses that supports the drivers, that supports the sport. So feel free to go and have a look at their Facebook pages, find them on Google, and just try and support the local businesses.
Yeah, Tommy, I'm looking at this qualifying going on here. There's less than a second between the first 7 guys. When this race starts, I think I'm just going to close my eyes. It's madness. I mean, it's less than a second between 7 guys.
I know it is.
They're going to be towing each other around the track. And I think the whole name of this game is going to be slipstreaming. Yeah, I mean, going down the straight, there's a good opportunity to get past with a slipstream, and I think it's going to be swap and change the whole way through.
Yeah, no, this is going to be very interesting to watch. I mean, even on last week's one, we saw that the top 3, top 4 drivers was constantly battling for that first position. So I'm pretty sure we're going to have that same caliber of racing tonight. And I always enjoy watching the Group A class. Once it comes to the top 4 positions, you cannot drive less than 120, 150% the entire time. And what we're going to have to watch, and what Melvin mentioned in the previous stream with the Group B class, is as they're driving, you know, you have the tire temperature or the track temperature and track grip that changes, and you've got your tire wear, so your grip on your tires gets less, and you've got your brake wear and your fuel usage, so the car gets lighter. So you need to know where to set what on the car. As you know, as the fuel gets less, the car gets lighter, so your brakes at the back tends to lock up more, so you set your brakes more to the front. So it's all about knowing the car and what it's going to do when will allow you to have either a better drive or a less of a good drive. So that's all going to play a role in where you're going to finish in this race. Getting back to the YouTube channel just quickly, I see Jason Null is also here. Wacky Wayne is out there as well, asking where's our driver. I'm not too sure who you're talking about. You're welcome to, you know, give a shout out there. Jason Null, I'm not too sure what you're saying, not me. And then yeah, there is still load shedding everywhere in South Africa. Well, in South Africa basically. So I know it is a bit of a disadvantage. We have a few drivers that's not racing due to it, and some drivers that joins a little bit later. But again, welcome to everyone that's on the YouTube channel. We are now in overtime for the qualifying session. Drivers should be finishing their qualifying now, starting to pull into the straight. As you can see, James is just pulling up the handbrake or playing around with the brakes, trying to figure out a few things and bumping the car there. And Melvin just doing everything to avoid him, drifting that Mini into the corner. So yeah, overtime. And our starting grid for this race will be in pole position. We will have Peter there. Then we'll have James in second, Dennis in third. Fourth will be Stefan. Fifth, Donnie. Sixth, Peter. Seventh, Jason. Eighth is Renier. Ninth will be Melvin. James in 10th and Gijsberg in 11th. So unfortunately, we only have 11 cars out on the track tonight. We were hoping for a little bit of a better turnout, but like I said, load shedding caught us off guard. As well as there's a few drivers that's away for the weekend, like Gerrit Niemand and Johan Niemand. It's very sad to not have them out on the track with us tonight. But then again, we do have our personal lives as well. So, Vimpy, hi Melvin, are you here with us?
Don't know if I'm on the stream, but yeah, I'm here.
Yes, you are live on the stream with us. So how's the track out there for the qualifying session?
It's still slippy. It's still very, very slippy, but the guys are quick. Tommy, they are proper quick. I've been thinking about putting Kian into Class A and me going back to Class B because, yes, these guys are quick.
Yeah, no, I can see from the times that they're almost about 0.2 of a second faster than the top drivers of the B class. Sorry, my mouth got dry there.
Well, it should be a close race. As Craig said earlier, The times between the top 7, 8 is less than a second, Greg. I mean, that's what Class A is about. They're not much quicker than you guys, but they're just so much closer, so the racing gets so much more intense.
Absolutely, Melvin. I think the difference comes in consistency. You know, these guys, every single lap they do, they're hammering it. They're doing the same times, and that's what makes it so interesting to watch. You know, I mean, these guys are absolutely legendary. You know, these are world-class drivers here.
I think, I mean, we've raced against the UK guys and a couple of other groups, United States, and every time the South African names pop up, they're still up there. And I think the guy to look out for tonight, in my opinion, one of two, Dennis Mitchell and Peter Geldenhuis. Those are the two I'd put my money on, for sure.
Hey, I won't throw away Peter Grobler at the moment. He's been doing the fastest time out there, and he's actually qualified in pole position.
Well, I didn't see that, so yeah, well done, Grobbies. That is one hell of a job.
Well, Melvin, I actually see the guys on the YouTube channel is saying that we must invite the top 3 from the Group B to race with the Group A guys for the next race. So we can do that. They won't be racing for points in that class, but it will be interesting to see where those top 3 drivers will actually place between the A class guys, don't you think?
That we will see on the final of Kyalami.
Okay.
Which will be a king of the track. The Class A guys will be doing their last race, and we will allow the Class B and C guys who want to race with them to join in. They will qualify among them, and they will race among them. So that should be interesting.
Yeah, no, definitely. We keep that one for the last race. So there you guys have it on the YouTube channel, Dangerous Banana. Please just tell me what your name is. I keep wanting to laugh at you at the nickname, but yeah, it's gonna be fun to see them out there on the track on Kyalami, having all the classes racing together, because it's everyone's welcome. However, they won't be racing for points. Only the Class A will be getting points, and then we'll have the Class B and C racing there as well, on again in a joint group for the final one. So, oh, Jock Bueta, thank you very much. Now I can start calling you Jock instead of Dangerous Banana.
Jock, you donor. Sorry, I just had to say that.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm pretty sure he will laugh at that one. Well, Melvin, you guys are going to start in about 30 seconds with your race. So good luck with your race and enjoy it out there. This will be a 20-minute race with a extra lap. So we're looking at about doing for 22 to 23 minutes. And then we will have a full reverse grid for the second race. So the driver finishing in first will be starting at the back, and the guy finishing at the back will be starting in the front. Which makes it interesting for the guys is that once you start at the back, you now need to work your way up through the back again, trying to get into that first position and getting top scoring points. So the driver is on the starting line. Everyone is saying good luck. Even Timo has joined us on the stream. Welcome here with us. SSRL also out there on the track. Good luck, guys. Enjoy the racing. Keep it clean and just have a lot of fun. We will be on Peter's car going into this first corner, and I can assure you it's going to be an amazing race to watch. So sit back, enjoy. Hope you have something to drink. Hope you have something to eat. For the guys that does do it or doesn't do it, please don't bite your nails off. But this is going to be a nail bite of the race.
10 seconds to go. I hear these guys revving their engines and getting ready to destroy the top. Here we go. Lights are almost green.
And we are off. Going down the straight, we've got Peter and James already falling there. We've got an entire train of minis. Everyone's just trying to find their position, going left and right as they come into the first turn. You can see Donnie already defending his line there against Peter, having a look up on the inside. They are running too wide or too abreast going through the corner. Just getting down here into the cameras. There we go. We've got Peter and James going through the first or second turn. Peter is trying to pull a gap, but James is closing in on him very fast, trying to get into that second position, running a bit wide, allowing Dennis now to make a move and pass him there, going into that second left right, and James again running wide and making contact there with Dennis. Unfortunately, Dennis is now off, but James is slowing down, waiting for him, going to give that position back. Very well done for him. Unfortunately, that is costing them the entire race, falling all the way back and now going to have to work so much harder to get back up to the front. So Peter already has a 2-second lead. We've got Donnie right in the back with Sean that's right on his heels, and Stefan also in there fighting their way up there for the 3rd, 4th and 5th position. Donnie is going to do everything that he can to stay in that 2nd position. But Sean is less than 0.2 seconds behind him, and we've got an entire train of minis going down the back here. There's position changes all over the track. Now Gijsberg has made a move there on James, taking that 9th position. We've got Renier Leach and Melvin Goos there in 7th and 8th. Peter Geldenhuys is now fighting it out there with Jason, as well as Stefan and Sean. Also Donnie there. So this is a 5-way battle for 2nd position. Any small mistake will definitely cost you big in this race at the moment as it is.
Let's hope Peter Grobler can keep his lead there. I see it's about 2.8 seconds ahead of the next guy. Let's hope his tires don't burn out and he falls off.
Yeah, no, definitely. This track is very much an endurance track, so it puts a lot of wear on your tires. So if you're going to push too hard in the beginning of the race, you will end up at the end of the race having less grip and can cost your race. Now you can see Sean and Stefan just made a pass there on Donnie, but Donnie just made a move back there on Stefan, going back into the 3rd position. Like we said, in this A class, we have a lot of position changes going down the straights as well as corners, and you have to work every bit so hard defending your line in as what you have to defend it going out and down the straight. So yet again, I'm staying on these guys because this is where the fighting is going on. We have Peter running away with this race with about a 3.7 second lead. Now we've got Sean that has made a little bit of a mistake. Now he's got the entire field of minis right there on his heels again, with Donnie there in 3rd, Stefan in 4th, now losing a position out there to Jason, and he opened the door, and now Melvin is also coming past there. Now we've got Melvin that's working his way up there on Stefan, but Peter Geldenhuys is having a look up on the outside, going for the inside line there on Stefan as well as Peter. But Melvin is still maintaining that position. This is bumper to bumper, side to side, too wide going through corners. Melvin is having a look up on the outside there of Peter. They're going too wide through this corner. I am not sure how they're getting this right, because I sure as hell can't. But Peter takes that 5th position again from Melvin. Melvin cutting the track a lot. They're going for the inside, almost losing it. That was a little bit of a dirty move there on Melvin, but I'm pretty sure that he will give that position back. But they are still swapping it in and out. Now Renier Leach is also in this fight here with Melvin, Peter and Jason. This is an amazing race to watch. Slight contact there between Renier as well as, I think that was Stefan. They've had a little bit of contact. Now they're coming 4 minis, 3 wide, coming down the main straight, heading down into that right-hander. Who will be able to outbrake who's got the better line and the better drive through this corner? Melvin is in a sandwich there between Peter and Renier. He's backing out of it. He said, no, I'm not going to cost my race. I'd rather let you guys fight out and I will come back again. Oh, we've got a little bit of a ping spike there from, I think it's Stefan, it seems to be, who's lost out a little bit due to that. But now we still have Melvin Goos, who's right there on the heels of Renier Leach, going on board here with Melvin. Let's have a look and see how he's fighting it out between for the 6th position with Renier, who's right on the heels of Stefan as well. Braking a little bit later, getting right onto the back there of Renier, going through that right and left-hander as they come down to this very long, fast right-hander. Will he be able to make a move, or will Renier be able to keep that one in the bag on that 6th position?
It's nice to see the guys getting a little bit of a gap between each other. You know, in the beginning of the race there, it's a bit of a bad analogy, but it was like peak hour traffic on the Autobahn.
Yeah, no, you know, in the beginning of the race, you always have that entire pack right there on the heel or on each other, and then as the race progresses, they start pulling away from each other and getting into a bit more of a comfortable drive. While I'm on board here with Melvin, I could see Stefan running a bit wide, almost opening the door there for Renier to get past, but Melvin caught up to them a little bit. Going back up to the front, we have a three-way battle here for second position between Donnie, Sean, and Jason at the moment. They also pull a little bit of a gap over the 4th, 5th, and 6th positions, or well, 5th, 6th, and 7th position group. But Peter Grobler is running away with this race. He just did a 2-minute 0.04 seconds around the track. That is extremely fast out there. That is the same times as what the fastest time was of the Group B class. So it will be interesting to see what will happen in the final race on Kyalami when we have that Group A and then all-comers race alongside them. Oh, and Peter is now under or busy attacking Don. He's trying to make his move, but he has to be careful because if he makes a mistake, Sean is also going to come and capitalize on that. He runs a little bit wide, slowing that Mini down in that sandbank, and Sean is having a look up on the outside, but says, nope, I'm rather going to fall back and wait for the next turn. These sweepers are just too much of a risk to overtake in there. Now he's running that slipstream. Will he dive up on the inside? No, he does not. Now, Donnie is in... Well, Donnie with... Sorry, this was the fight for second position. I'm sorry about that. So Donnie is still defending comfortably in the second position. He's now got a little bit of breathing room with Sean and Jason that made a slight mistake there, allowing him to pull a little bit of a gap and relax a bit before it comes down to having to fight that out again for that second position. And I see Gijsberg has made a mistake as well as Melvin Goos. There was contact between them. Melvin Goos now dropping down all the way into 8th position, all the way from the front, and he's still dropping down into 10th position now. This is extremely sad to see. He was one of the top runners in the race, and now he's all the way down into 11th position. So I'm not too sure whether he's having some technical difficulties again with his steering wheel, but let's hope it does not and he can come back and fight again in this race. However, if you do finish at the back of the pack, you do have a slight advantage for the next race, and you can start up in the front of the pack. And we've now got James, who has lost it wide there and is falling back all the way into the 11th position, losing out on 4 positions there to Gijsberg, Dennis, James, Renier and Melvin. Going back to the front, we are now seeing that Donnie is still comfortably sitting there in that second position with the same gap between him and Sean is also having a very comfortable drive, having a bit of breathing room with Jason that has fallen back a bit. Stefan in 5th position with about a 2 seconds between him and Jason. We've got Renier Leach that's also out there in 6th position. Gijsberg in 7th with a comfortable breathing room between him, Dennis, James. Melvin is right on the back there of James, Jamie. Yeah, that is James Leach. And then we've got James Crook and Peter Geldenhuis, who is right at the back. Now, Peter is one of our faster drivers as well. It seems like he had a bit of a hiccup in the beginning of the race, costing him to lose a few positions. But we have Jason that is now falling back all the way down into 10th position. I'm not too sure what's wrong there, but he's losing out. He was one of the top runners also in this race, who is now falling all the way back. And we see James Crook, who has lost it going into the corner, also losing all those positions, falling all the way back down into 12th position. So Peter Grobler is still just running away with this one in that Jack Tool Mini. He's got about a 5.5 second lead over second place, Donnie van Rooyen, and then we've got Sean there that's right on the back again of Donnie, with Stefan and Renier that's there in 4th and 5th position. Well, Craig, as you can see, it's a little bit more or a lot more close racing than there was in the Division B group. But the times is still the same as what you guys are doing. And if I'm not wrong, you were doing exceptionally fast times. You were doing about a 2-minute flat as well out there tonight.
Yeah, when the track gets nice and warm, it helps a lot. You can get in a really good time, but like I say again, it's consistency. Mine was I was doing a 2:01 on average, and these guys are sitting at 2, so it just shows the skill, the levels they've got. I'm just watching Sean Webber. He's been nibbling away at Donnie van Rooyen. He seems to be catching him every single corner.
And you can see he's slightly making his way closer to Donnie. But you know, he's got to play that waiting game, that patience game. As Donnie is pushing it very hard, he's really trying to keep that gap between him and Sean. So it's going to cost him to run out of, or he's going to get a lot of tire wear a lot quicker. So it might allow Sean to just capitalize on that if he, if he just stays consistent and maintains a nice drive, not allowing the gap to open up, but also not fighting to close the gap. Then he can maybe capitalize on that in the last few laps of the race.
Absolutely. Another small little battle between fourth and fifth, old Renier and Steven Sparks. I think Renier is slowly also nibbling away, trying to catch up there. Maybe going down the straight, he'll have a little bit of a slipstream and close the gap a little bit more.
No, with these minis, it's driving skill. So we lock the setup completely, and allow you still to change your brake bias on the car. So meaning you've got a little bit more brakes in the front or a little bit more at the back, depending on how you're comfortable with driving the car. But other than that, you cannot change anything to this car. So you can't set your tire pressures, you can't set the amount of fuel you've got in, you can't set your suspension or anything like that. So this race is purely your driving ability and driving skill. So if you, and also consistency. So if you are very comfortable with the car and you know how the track runs and all that, you can do very well. But if you're going to make a mistake, it's going to allow another driver to actually catch up to you. So even when someone like Peter Grobler outdrives the pack with about 5 seconds, it's not because his setup is better. It is purely because he's got a much more comfortable drive with the car, and he put the time in, and he got to know the track, and he's just got the better drive on the car.
Now I see there's a nice race developing between 6 and 7, Dennis Mitchell and his Gijs Nagel.
I think it's Gijsberg. I'm not too sure what his name. Yeah, I think it's Gijsberg and Dennis Mitchell. And then you've also got James that's up there in 8th position, who is trying to close that gap there on Gijsberg as well. So it's going to be very interesting to watch and see what happens there as well. Yeah, it's Gijsberg. I think Gijsberg Nigel, if I'm not wrong, that is in 6th position in that nice speed shop mini of his. And then we've got some experience that is racing hard to get onto the back end of him, hopefully being able to close that gap, run a slipstream, and get the best drive into the corner there. So he's really closing the gap now. There's about 0.2 seconds between Gijsberg and Dennis at the moment. Now, Dennis Mitchell did very well in our Janetta Cup that we did. And I think the Janetta Cup was the first one that he joined in. And he's making his move and overtook there. He's got that position from Gijsberg. Now he's going to start working his way down to get to Renier Leach. And hopefully with another 3 minutes left of the race, you will be able to get that position and just maintain it. And hopefully maybe even work up into that 5th position. But now Gijsberg is also under the attack there from James Leach at the moment. So he's now got to try and attack on Dennis to get that position back, but also defend from James from getting past him there.
I see Donnie van Rooyen has actually pulled a small little gap from Sean Webber. So let's see if Sean can grab that back, eh?
No, we've got about 3 laps left to go in this race. This is now where it starts getting tricky. Your tire wear gets low, so the back end of the car gets a little bit loose. I think you can vouch for that in the race that you had, coming down to the last few laps of the track with the car being all light without fuel, and then also the tire wear. You end up struggling getting the car to maintain a proper line going into a corner when you're under braking.
Yeah, I agree to a certain extent. Unfortunately, when I got my reserve light came on, I think I did my best lap.
Yeah, well, that is when the Mini is like super light, so you don't have a lot of weight that you have in the car, and you tend to push a little bit of a faster time, but the handling of the car becomes a bit more tricky.
Yeah, the rear end seems to gain weight.
Does it seem to gain weight?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when the tires start wearing and it doesn't make any sense. You know, when the fuel tank empties, the back gets a little bit wild.
Sure, that's interesting to know. Well, I haven't raced with you guys in these cars the entire series, so it's very difficult for me to actually be able to say, what the cars does and how they, react under certain circumstances. So it's very nice to have you in here and you can, explain and kind of say, what happens with the cars when it comes down to the final stages.
Yeah, I experience a lot of rear rocking, and I see it on every single car almost. The guys change their brake bias so they can actually throw the little mini in sideways almost, going into the corners. But looking at the A class, these guys are, it's a different level. I mean, I think it boils down to experience. These guys are so jacked. Every single corner they go into is nice and smooth. Unless of course they get the back wheel onto the grass, then there's a little bit of a mishap. But they seem to recover really quickly as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. They tend to react a little bit faster. Oh, you can see there James is trying to make a move on Gijsberg and outbrakes himself completely, costing him a little bit of time there. But he is right back on Gijsberg, so he's really trying to do his best to get past him there. They've got 2 laps to go, the one that they are busy with at the moment, and then the final lap. You can see James is trying to run that slipstream, having a look up on the outside, but Gijsberg just maintains that position. He is now going to try and really work his way onto Gijsberg there. Going on board, you can see him having a look up on the inside, slightly out braking, and he is past. He just made his move there on Gijsberg. Well done to him there. Now he's got to fight his way to Dennis with 1.5 laps left to go. Still in the front, comfortably sitting in the lead, there is Pieter Grobler with a 5-second lead over Dani van Rooyen, who is also comfortably there in second position. If he just stay calm, keep his drive, stay consistent, he will definitely finish this one in second position. Then we've got Sean in third position, also again, just maintain his consistency and he will finish there in third position. Stefan in fourth, Renier in fifth. Then we've got Dennis there in sixth, that is busy working his way slightly away from James, but James is doing whatever he can and pushing extremely hard to try and get there onto the back of Dennis and hopefully take that sixth position away from him. Gijsberg in 8th, Melvin fell down all the way into 9th position, well actually down into 11th and now working his way back up into 9th already. He's got Pieter Geldenhuys right on the back of him, as well as Jason that's right there as well, and then James Crook, who has fallen all the way back into 12th position. That's just maintaining his drive and will finish this race right at the back, but starting in the lead for the next one. Now, I raced with James a few times, as well as in the SRSA BTCC race, and the last one we did, he was extremely fast. I could not keep up with him. So I'm not too sure whether he's having some technical difficulties out there or what's going on, but I'm pretty sure he will make a good comeback in the second race. So they are busy with their final lap and the position changes aren't very big. However, Jason has now made a move on Pieter, or Pieter might have lost it there, falling down into the 11th position, with Jason moving up in 10th and Melvin still comfortably there in 9th.
I was just watching James Leach there go completely sideways around the corner there. It was exceptional driving on his behalf.
I know, as we said, coming to the end of the race, the guys tend to lose a bit out on the track. I see Melvin ran a bit wide, losing that position there to Jason now as well. It gets tricky. The less grip you have on the tires, the more difficult it becomes to maintain control over the car. And if you push it too hard, trying to catch up, you're going to end up making a mistake. So you know what, when it comes to the final few laps, if you've got a comfortable position, just settle in and just maintain your race and maintain your position and just finish in a comfortable spot for the next one.
Looks like it's been a very lonely race for Pieter Grobler, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, definitely. I can tell you it had to be. So Pieter Grobler in first position. Dani van Rooyen will be finishing in second, with Sean in third. As we watch him coming over the finish line, Stefan and Renier in 4th and 5th. Dennis in 6th, James in 7th. We've got Gijsberg in 8th, waiting on Jason, that will be finishing here in the 9th position, with Melvin Gous in well, Melvin Ghost and Peter just had a position change there right at the end. So Jason in 9th, Peter will be finishing here in 10th position, and Melvin Ghost will be ending in 11th, with James Crook finishing in 12th. That will put Melvin and James on the front row of the grid for the start of the second race.
I think the second race is going to be very exciting because between James and Melvin, I think there's going to be a really, it's going to be difficult getting past these guys.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's going to be interesting to see. And you know what? The drivers actually asked for this layout, or, the complete grid invert when it comes to the second race, because it gives everyone a fair opportunity to finish in the front, also be driving in the front, and it makes it a bit more interesting for the faster guys to have to work their way up through the pack and try and get back into their top positions. So it makes it interesting, and it makes it a bit more fun, and the drivers actually enjoys it a lot. And as you can see there, James just finishing the race there in 12th position. So we'll most probably be going into overtime, and then there'll be about another 2 minutes before the start of the next race. So in the meantime, we'll be taking a little bit of a break. So sit back, enjoy, and we'll see you soon.
I get those goosebumps every time you come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm way too numb, yeah. This way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time. I need that Heimlich, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around me, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. Sitting on the street, do it when I'm riding. Why they on me? Why they on me? I'm flying, sipping low key. I'm sipping low key and honest, rider. I get those goosebumps every time you come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm way too numb, yeah. This way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time. I need that Heimlich, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around, throw that to the side, yeah. When I'm pulling up right beside you, pops all in my ride. When I text a cute game wildness, throw a stack on the Bible. Never Snapchat or took Molly. She falls with plenty, her and all her guineas. Yeah, we at the top floor, right there after Henny. Yeah, oh no, I can't fuck with y'all. Yeah, when I'm with my squad, I cannot do no wrong. Yeah, saucing in the city, don't get misinformed. Yeah, they gon' pull up on you. Yeah, we gon' do some things you can't relate. Yeah, cause we from a place you cannot stay. Oh, you can't go. Oh, I don't know. Oh, back the fuck up. I get those goosebumps every time you come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm way too numb, yeah. This way too dumb, yeah. I get
So we are back live with about a minute and 12 seconds left before the start of the second race for Group A. Again, just saying hello to everyone on the YouTube channel. We've got 22 members watching. Please do share this link and get the people to subscribe and like the video, so we've got some more people joining in for the next race. So the starting grid for race 2 will be James Crook, Melvin Ghost, Pieter Geldenhuys, Jason Lewismoor, Gijsberg Nagel, James Leach, Dennis Mitchell, Renier Leach, Stefan Sparks, Sean Webber, Donny van Rooyen, and Peter Grobler at the back of the field. So it's going to be an interesting one to watch. We've got about 30 seconds left before the start of this race. We're going to have to sit back, enjoy, and wait and see what happens to this one. But if it's anything like the previous race, it will be exciting. So we've got 9 seconds left to go. Lights is on. The race is about to start. We've got Melvin Goes as well as James Crook taking us off of the line here. So James Crook got the better start there. Melvin Goes sleeping on the line a little bit. Pieter Geldenhuys that's coming past there. We've got Jason Lewismoor also in there now. What will happen going through this first corner? We've got Pieter Geldenhuys who's having a look up on the inside of James Crook. They are really fighting it out here for that first position. Melvin Goes now having a look up on the outside there of Jason Lewismoor. And there's slight contact between the two of them, but they come through there very well. No major incidents. Jason taking that third position with Melvin in fourth. Going back down the side, we've got Pieter Grobler that's right at the back. And Sean Webber, slight contact between the two of them. They're going to have to work their way through the back and try and get right up into the front. We've got Stefan now that made a move on James Leach, taking that 7th position from him. We have a major battle going here between the two brothers, James Leach and Renier Leach. Will they be fighting each other or helping each other through the pack? We will have to wait and see. We've got Donnie van Rooyen and Pieter Grobler as well as Sean Webber, who was our top finishing positions for the first race, now having a fight trying to get back from the back of the pack. Having a look up in the front, we've got Pieter Geldenhuys who is running in first position. Melvin Goes is now having a look on James Crook, going for the outside line. Can he make this one stick or will he run too wide for James to come through the inside again? He makes it stick, and unfortunately Gijsberg now loses out 2 positions there to Dennis and Stefan as he runs wide, opening the door for them to pass them. So Melvin is now defending his 3rd position there from James Crook. James is not going to back out of this one, but now he's got to start thinking of defending with Dennis Mitchell, who is having a look up on the inside as they exit the turn running into the straight. Will he be running that slipstream as they go down the main straight and heading down to that sharp right-hander? This is 4 minis, the entire train coming down the straight. Melvin Goes has a lot of defending to do, as James is now having a look up on the outside and Dennis is still behind him. With Dennis going up on the inside, James is forced to run wide. Will Dennis be able to take this position from him? Will Melvin lose out as both of them are now doing an undercut, having a look up on the inside? There was slight contact between them, but Melvin maintains that 3rd position, taking it back from Dennis as they go into this left and right hander. I think that's Rob's corner if I'm not wrong.
This is Rob's corner right there.
Oh, is this Rob's corner right here? Okay, so we're going through Rob's corner now with Melvin still pushing it very hard, trying to keep that 3rd position. The leaders of this race, Pieter Geldenhuys having a comfortable half a second gap over Jason Lewismoor, but I'm pretty sure they'll be getting into a fight shortly. We still have Melvin Goes, Dennis, James and Stefan all fighting it out there for the 2nd position. Dennis now sitting right on the back there of Melvin Goes, having a look up on the inside, or having a look on board there with Dennis. Oh, and there was contact between Dennis and Melvin. I'm not too sure what happened there, but there was contact between the two of them, and Melvin is losing all of his positions, falling right to the back. That was very unfortunate there. Now James has capitalized on this, taking that position away from Dennis. Will he be able to take it back again? Having a look up on the inside there from James, but James is pushing it hard around the outside, keeping that position. He does have the best line for the next corner, taking that inside, but he's got to run a bit wide, opening the door there for Stefan also to stick his nose in. And Stefan makes slight contact there with James as well, going down into this left-hander. James is keeping that position, but then Stefan is trying to have a run up on the outside. Now we've got James also that's in this mix. They're coming down the start-finish line. This is a long straight. Anyone can run a slipstream and try and make them move, as there are 4 minis fighting it out for 3rd position at the moment. You've got James that's having a look up on the outside there, making his move on Stefan. Will he be able to outbreak him? But James is on the inside as well. This is 3 minis wide going into this corner. And they're all 3 running side by side going through the corner. No contact between them. Now we've got the left and right hander, sharp turns. Will they be able to maintain that same positions? Stefan has made a move on James, and we've still got James and Stefan running side by side. And James is now saying, nope, I'm rather going to fall in behind you and not cost any one of us a race. But James Leach is now having a look up on James Crook. So this is the two Jameses that is fighting it out there for this 5th position. And we've got Stefan that is now just saying, you know what, while you guys fight, I'll just, comfortably take a little bit of a breather and pull out underneath you. But now James is past. So James Leach has made a move on James Crook, and now he's working his way there onto Stefan, with Dennis there in 3rd position with a comfortable 1 second gap. Will he be able to maintain that, or are they going to put him under pressure coming up? Unfortunately, we've got Melvin Goos, who has jumped into the pits with a DNF. It's very sad to see him go. Maybe I can get him into the commentating booth and join us and explain a bit of what happened and keep us a bit of company. It's very sad to see him lose out on his race.
I think he may have had a bit of vehicle damage there with the impacts.
I know that is very true what you say, Craig. Again, this is simulation racing, so it is very realistic. So the moment you have contact with a driver, you do get body damage, you do get a bit of suspension damage, and especially if you have an incident where you go off and your car goes into the wall, you do end up having a lot of damage on the car, whether it is suspension damage or body damage, and it completely changes the way the car handles and how your driving ability on the car is. Okay, so it seemed like Melvin actually had a bit of an internet connection. He disconnected from the server, but he's back in. I'm pretty sure he will rejoin this race. However, he will not be able to, finish in the top runnings of this race, but he will at least be able to score points for just finishing the race, which is very well done to him.
Yeah, I see. Just over 10 minutes to go, and Jason Lewismoor is definitely catching Peter Geldenhuis.
And I just jumped onto them in the front of the pack there. Jason is now closing up that gap very quickly. He's got about a 0.4 seconds between him and Peter Geldenhuis at the moment. So we still have in 3rd position, we've got Dennis that is comfortably just sitting there with about almost a 2-second gap between him and the 4th position of Stefan. Now Stefan and James Leach is busy having a very nice battle out here. James is going up on the inside now of Stefan. Will he be able to run around the outside, or will he have to fall in behind him? He's slowing down, falling in behind Stefan again. He says, wait, I'm rather going to wait till after this corner before I try and fight you again. I'm not going to cost my race. It is very close on this track. If you make one small mistake, whether it's you running wide or making contact with another driver, you're going to end up losing. But now James is trying again, having a look up on the inside there of Stefan as they're coming through this final left-hander and into the start-finish. He will now be running that slipstream and trying to make his move coming down the straight into the next turn. I'll be watching them as they're coming down the straight, sitting right on the back. He's now diving up on the outside. Will he be able to make the run and get that 5th position from fourth position from Stefan? They are running side by side. Stefan braking, James braking a little bit later, running wide there, going off the track. This is going to cost him very, very severely. Now James Crook is coming past him, and he lost that 5th position now to James Crook. And now he's got his brother right on the back of him there as well. So Dennis now gets a little bit of breathing room as well as Stefan. Now he can, just say, okay, I can relax a bit, just focus, and don't have to defend so hard anymore. However, now we've got James Crook, James Leach, and Renier Leach that will be fighting it out there for that 5th position. Going back to the front, we still have a very nice battle going between Peter Geldenhuis and Jason Lewismoor. Now Peter is slightly pulling a gap there with a 0.7 second lead. Now again ahead of Jason Lewismoor. So I'm pretty sure he saw this mini in his rearview mirror and he just said, nope, I need to step hard on the gas and just get this one going and get that position or that gap back again.
Yeah, I see James Leach is battling a little bit there with traction. He's been off the track twice in the last 3 corners.
Well, I'm having a little bit of a look there. It seems so, yes, he has now fallen back with about 3 seconds. Now all the way down there to have Sean all the way on his heels. These guys are struggling to get back to the front of the pack. We still have Donnie there in 10th position with Peter Grobler in 9th. And then we've got Sean there in 8th position, who's right on the back of James. They have a lot of work to do to get to the front of the pack. They've got 7 minutes left to go. I wonder if one of them will be able to finish a little bit higher up or not. However, Peter and Jason is still fighting it out. They are doing super quick times. I see Peter was 0.2 seconds faster this lap than what Jason was, as well as Stefan was a little bit faster than Dennis again. So Stefan should be catching up to the back there of Dennis very quickly, and this will become a fight for 3rd position as well. Just a little bit of a look on the YouTube channel. We've got Tyron Wesley, who's out there saying hello to everyone. We've got Sim Race Africa that says, Hoi Pita, the position is yours. Then we've still got, oh, I think it's Kelsey that's out there. We've got Wacky Wayne that's out there watching with us. Please do like our channel, subscribe, and follow us. Go to Facebook and follow our Facebook page under Sim Race Africa. Join in if you want to start with sim racing. Feel free to ask any questions. We are here to support and we are here to help you. We welcome any and all drivers, whether you are male or female, doesn't matter. The more female races we can get, even more, the better. So have fun. We do have our beer lobbies. We have our league races. We try and make it fun for everyone. And if you don't like a specific car, you're welcome to join in the next race or even request a race and we will set something up for you. We do our main circuits, we do our oval tracks, we also do drifting as well as hill climbs. So there's all different variations of cars and tracks and styles that you can choose of. So by all means, feel free and join us.
I see Sean Weber's just gone past James Leach. So James Leach is definitely having some issues with those rubbers on his rims there.
Yeah, I know, definitely having a little bit of traction issues out there. It can either be that or it can maybe be a bit of technical difficulties, as we do know that internet does give a bit of problems, as well as some equipment do tend to, fail out. It's very nice to see Uncle Gerrit that's out here saying, go Groblies. It's sad to not have you guys out on the track, but we can't wait to see you out there on Spa. You and your son Gerrit and Johan. Sorry, that's Gerrit and Johan is his dad. I'm sorry for that, Gerrit. You can give me a bit of trouble for that later on. It's good to see you back on the wheel. I know you've been racing with the mouse for a while, which I have to say, well done on that. I haven't seen many people that actually races with the computer mouses. So in 5th position, we have a nice fight now between James Renier Leach and James Crook. So Renier is trying his best, pushing it hard, trying to get that 5th position from James. But James is running extremely defensive, trying his best to keep Renier behind him. Now we have, just want to make sure who this is. Okay, so we've got Dennis and Stefan, who is in 3rd and 4th position, who is there behind Melvin Goos, who is a back marker. However, he is one of the fast drivers, so he is allowed to race his race and maintain his line, although he's racing under a blue flag. So once they get close to him, you will see him pull over to the side, allowing them to pass him in a safe way. However, if they cannot catch him, he will not move out the way and give up his race for them. So this is going to be interesting to see. Will Stefan be able to capitalize on this, or will Dennis still be able to maintain his race and keep that 3rd position away from Stefan? So they're running down the straight, going into that left right-hander, and Stefan is catching up onto the back of Melvin. So will he move out the way? He will definitely keep his line as they go into the main straight, and Dennis will most probably go up on the inside and just make that pass very safely. There you can see Melvin keeping to the left as the faster guys coming through on the right. However, Sean is running a bit slower, so he can't make the move on Melvin as yet, so he will have to fall in behind Melvin as they go into this corner. Oh, Melvin is closing the door there on Dennis, but Dennis is taking that inside line, making his move on Melvin, falling in behind him again. trying to Malvin is really trying his best to keep the guys behind him, but Dennis unfortunately loses out on that one, and Stefan takes that third position. But Malvin is pulling over to the side, allowing Stefan to pass him in a safe way.
I see Jason Lewismoor is doing everything he possibly can to try and catch Peter Geldenhuis. He's taken away about 0.4 of a second. Unfortunately, as soon as he gets close, Peter seems to just pull away a little bit.
Yeah, no, definitely having a look up on the inside. Unfortunately, we now lost. It seems like we've lost Dennis there in the 10th. Well, he was there up in the 4th position or 3rd position. Now he has got a DNF as he dropped out of the server. Unfortunately, I think it's a little bit of connection issues. However, he did lose it there in Rob's corner, so I'm not too sure whether what happened there. But I see Jock is saying, he must probably rage quit it. So we'll have to see what happens. Yeah, I'm not too sure whether that was revenge or not. I doubt that it was. I don't think the guys that races here will very easily do the revenge thing, but you never know, what's going on. So it unfortunately happens. Yeah, I see there's again people mentioning the load shedding. So it's unfortunately, we hope that people don't end up with load shedding while they are in the race, because it will be very sad, especially if it's one of the top runners. As you can see, Peter is still now pulling away. However, he's running a bit wide. That will cost him a few seconds, and Jason will now gain quite a bit on him. This is the second last lap that they're on. So this is going to be quite interesting to see what happens coming down into this final stage, as Jason is now catching back up onto Peter. But both of them has a comfortable 7-second lead over the 3rd position. And Stefan, that's in 3rd position, has a very nice 5-second lead there over Renier Leach, who's also pulled a gap there again on James, who's got Sean right on the back of him. So Sean is going to still push very hard in this final 2 laps to try and get into that top scoring points there for tonight. Because, you had Peter Grobler, Dani van Rooyen, and Sean, that was the top 3 finishing drivers. And now we will have just basically a reverse of that. However, they will be at the back of the pack. So it's going to be quite interesting to see what happens at the end of this race and who will be crowned as the top scorer for this evening. And again, we have Malvin with some issues that jumped back to the pits. We will have to see what happens there and what might have been the problem there. So Gijsberg just comfortably driving in 10th position, saying, you know what, I'm just going to finish the race, get these points, and just stay in the running for this league. Dani van Rooyen still in 9th, with Peter Grobler in 8th. We've got James Leach in 7th, Sean in 6th, trying everything that he can to get past James Crook there in 5th. Got Renier Leach comfortably there in 4th position. Stefan just cruising it out there in 3rd position. He knows, you know what, I don't have to push it. I don't need to worry about anything. I can just have a nice drive and I will finish this race for this evening in this 3rd position. And we've got Melvin Gous, who also has a DNF now, disconnecting from the server there. So I'm pretty sure that he has a little bit of technical issues as well. Now we still have Jason Lewismoor and Peter Geldenhuis that's fighting it out here for the top 2 positions. Jason has now closed that gap to 0.5 of a second, running a bit wide off the track there, but he's pushing it extremely hard. He wants that first position from Peter Geldenhuis. So on the final lap, we now have a very nice battle going on there for first position with Peter Geldenhuis and Jason Lewismoor. Jason is pushing it. Excuse me, sorry for that.
Jason Lewismoor has now pulled all the rabbits out of the hat and he's run out. He's trying really hard to catch Peter Geldenhuis, but Peter Geldenhuis, being the pro he is, he's sort of just saying, listen, this is my race. Better luck next time. Honestly, I don't see him catching him, but you can never tell. Peter Geldenhuis may touch the grass, something maybe run out of fuel. Who knows? But it's very, very exciting to watch. This is literally the only race left, to watch.
Yeah, no, definitely. So we'll be sticking with them as they're going through the final few turns. This is Peter Geldenhuys and Jason Lewismoor, who is fighting it out for the top 2 positions of this race. We still have Stefan there in the background, as you can see, who's comfortably just cruising through there in the 3rd position. He knows he's got no worries. He doesn't have to fight anyone or worry about anyone taking his position away from him. As I go through the final turn, going into that start finish line, we still have a very nice dice. Will there be any position changes coming through here? I doubt it. I think Peter Geldenhuys will be taking this one tonight. As they finish, we've got Peter Geldenhuys in first, Jason Lewismoor in second. We've got Stefan Sparks coming home here in 3rd position. Then we've got Renier Leach in 4th. Sean in 5th. James in 6th. Then we've got the other James there in 7th. Donnie in 8th. Peter has lost it there. He will be finishing in 9th position. Then we've got Gijsberg, who is still busy with his race. We will be following him as he is busy coming into the start-finish line, and will be finishing his race there in 10th position. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Group A JCW Minis for you. This is always an interesting one to watch. It's always close racing. As you can see, Jason Lewismoor doing a little bit of donuts for us there in reverse gear on the track. Unfortunately, that is the only way a Mini can get it right, is when they do it in reverse. But it was very nice racing. However, there was a little bit of contact and bumps and bruises, which will be sorted out by the race stewards after tonight. So, Craig, how was it for you?
It's the usual, it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's such a pleasure to sit and watch these guys race. I mean, they're on an absolutely different level. I mean, I look at the guys in B class, and there's a bit of swapping and changing, but guys tend to settle in and they accept their positions. Where these guys, they just carry on fighting tooth and nail. It was nice to see old James Crook trying desperately hard to keep up there. Didn't do so well in the first race, but he was trying to hold the guys back. Still trying to find out what happened to Melvin. I mean, obviously got some technical difficulties, but I think Peter Geldenhuys and Jason Lewismoor in the front there, I think they had quite a nice little run.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was a very nice battle to watch there. As they came down to the final stages of the race. But however, it was all through the race, from the get-go to the final lap. It was a constant battle between these guys. It was very nice to watch. And unfortunately, the guys has left the channel so quickly, I can't even pull anyone in to have a discussion about the racing and how it was for them. So we can't have any after race interviews, unfortunately not. But Craig, it was very nice having you here with me in the commentating booth. It's always a pleasure having you here. Always fun talking to you and just watching the racing with you.
Yeah, thanks very much, Tommy. Your efforts never go unnoticed. You do a sterling job. Well done.
Thank you for that. So, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. I know it's back to work this week. Hopefully, everyone will have a great week ahead. Enjoy it, and we will see you next week back here, same time, same place, but we'll be running on Spa next week. Hope to see you all here. Please do like the page, like the channel, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next race. Be safe and enjoy the evening. Bye.
Fantastic. Good night, guys.